Have you ever replayed a situation in your mind over and over, wondering why someone treated you the way they did, why something didn't work out, or why you didn't get the ending that you deserved? You're not alone. Closure isn't something we get from other people. It's something that we learn to create within ourselves. And today, I'm going to show you how to do exactly that. Even when people don't apologize, even when life feels unfair, and even when your heart still hurts. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Healing with Aaron. Today's video is all about finding closure, not just in relationships, but with people, places, jobs, family, and even old versions of ourselves that don't exist anymore. My goal is to help you to walk away from situations with peace, not bitterness, with clarity, not confusion, with power, not regret. So let's get into it. So what does closure really mean? Closure isn't about getting an explanation from someone who hurt you, or betrayed you, or disrespected you. It's not about begging for honesty for people who weren't honest the first time. Closure means understanding the situation for what it truly was, accepting the truth, even if it's painful, and choosing to move forward without needing someone else's permission. It's the moment that you stop trying to rewrite the past and start choosing your future. Something that's really important to understand is that what's meant for you in life will never pass you by. You know, one thing that I've learned is that life has a very funny way of removing what isn't meant for you. Sometimes you don't see that or understand it until later. Sometimes it feels cruel in the moment, but what's meant for you, the people, the opportunities, the relationships, they will align, they will stay, and they will show up. Rejection often feels painful, but later you'll realize that it was actually redirection. It was making space for something that's better. Something very important that you have to do is you have to accept people for how they show up. One of the biggest sources of pain is when we try to believe people's words instead of watching their actions. Anyone can practice a conversation in their head. Anyone can say the right lines in the moment, but actions, what people do, actions cost energy, effort, and integrity. If someone accuses you of something that you didn't do, if someone refuses to apologize, if someone isn't loyal, if someone says one thing and then does the exact complete opposite of what they've said, that's who they are right now. That's their own level of awareness, and it's not your job to fix that. And yes, people have mental health conditions. Someone might have ADHD, anxiety, trauma that they've been through in the past, but mental health conditions don't excuse disrespect. You can empathize with people and the struggles that they've been through and still protect your own peace. Another really important thing that you have to do is do not romanticize the potential of a person or a situation. A lot of us fall in love with the potential. You know, we see the good traits and qualities in a person, and we see the potential of what they could be. We see the good in people. We imagine their highest self, the version of themselves that they don't even commit to being. But you can't build a healthy connection on imagination or fantasy. You can't heal someone who doesn't want to heal themselves. You can't fix someone who doesn't want to do the inner work. Closure comes when you accept people for who they are, not who you hoped they'd become. You know, unfortunately, some people don't think for themselves. They rely on other people's opinions. It's called living in an echo chamber. where they only surround themselves with people who tell them what they want to hear. And what that does is that protects their ego. It doesn't challenge them. They follow the crowd. They avoid taking accountability in life. They'd rather stay blind, because self-awareness requires honesty, and honesty requires courage. Trying to have a deep conversation with shallow self-awareness becomes pointless. It's a waste of time and energy. And the moment that you realize that, you start to detach. And that moves me on to my next tool, and that is practicing the art of detachment. Detachment is about being cold. It's not about not caring. It's not about ghosting someone, because that is something that is very painful. Detachment is saying, I see this person or situation very clearly, and I'm choosing peace. I'm letting go without bitterness. I'm creating space for something healthier that's more aligned with who I am and what my own needs are. It's refusing to chase what keeps hurting you. When you're trying to find closure in a situation, something that is really important to do is that you need to focus on the people who stayed in your life. It's easy to fixate on a person who has left, a person who's ghosted you, someone who disappointed you, or someone who hurt you. But meanwhile, there are often 10, 15, 20 people in your life quietly supporting you. People who show up, people who care, people who are consistent, people who are loyal. You know, human nature makes us obsess over what we've lost instead of appreciating the quiet presence of the people who stayed. Closure comes when you switch your focus and you actually realize that. An element that is key in finding closure in situations in life is forgiveness, but forgiveness for yourself. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you reconnect. It doesn't mean that they were right. It doesn't mean that they deserve a second chance. Forgiveness means that you're refusing to let anger take any more of your energy. Forgive yourself for staying too long. Forgive yourself for believing words over actions. Forgive yourself for ignoring all of the signs, all of the red flags that were right in front of you the entire time. Forgive them, not for them, but because you deserve freedom and inner peace. Prioritize your well-being. Closure is a form of self-care. Prioritizing your mental health, your peace, your healing, that's how you start reclaiming your life. Healing takes time. It's incremental. It's slow. Some days you'll feel strong. Other days you'll feel triggered. But one day you'll wake up and realize that the pain feels lighter and your heart feels stronger. So my final thoughts are that closure is actually a gift that you give to yourself. Closure isn't about someone else giving you answers. Closure is about you choosing acceptance. Closure is about you choosing yourself. What's meant for you will always align with honesty, with effort, with kindness, and with peace. If something or someone left your life, a person, a job, a friendship, an old version of yourself that no longer exists, trust yourself that something better is already making its way to you. Your story doesn't end with who walked away. Your story begins with who you become after they do. Thank you so much for watching, beautiful people. If this video helped you, please give it a like and subscribe. It will really support my channel. Also, hit the hype button. And remember, you deserve closure, you deserve peace, and you deserve a future that feels good. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.